Hi, fifth graders. Okay, so I was going to go back over the scatter plots and line plots quiz that you took last week. So I'm going to flip through some of the questions. We may not cover every single one of them, but the majority of them. So this question says the line plot shows the cost of 12 different menu items at a fast food restaurant. Enter the dollar value that appears the most frequently in the line plot. So if you're looking at a line plot, you're going to look at all of the X's and see which one is the most frequent. That's going to be the one with the most X's. And so I see that's in between 2 and 3. So if that's in dollars, that would be $2.50. Now, looking at the next question. So if we're trying to plot this data, we've got games and points. So for game 1 through 8, here are the amount of points that were scored. So we need to find an option that has a 1 and an 18. Well, there's no 1 down here because they've only plotted the points. So if I look at the points that were scored, I need at least one X above an 18. So I have an 18 here, and I have an 18 here, and a 1x over this 18. Now, if I'm looking at a line plot, I'm already thinking that this one looks weird because all of the numbers are out of order, but let's keep an eye on it. So for game number 2, they scored 9 points. 9 would be in the middle of 8 and 10, so there's no X above a 9 on this one. So that's going to go ahead and rule out option 1. This one has a 9 with 1 X above it. And this one has an X in the middle of 8 and 10, so that would be for 9 as well. For game number 3, there were 12 points scored. So this definitely has a 12 and an X above it, and a 12 with an X above it. And I'm going to go ahead and look over here, and do you see where there is another 12 points scored for game 7? So that means above 12, I need 2 X's. So therefore, I already ruled out option 1 because there wasn't an X above a 9. There's not 2 X's above the 12 here, so know that option 3 is the only correct answer for this question. I could go through and double check all of the other numbers as well. Option 3 is the right one. Now on this question, the line plot shows the approximate length of 9 songs on a musical album. So which of the following data sets matches the line plot above? So if I'm looking to see how these little tick marks are broken up, I see that 3 to 4 is all the way over here. So we've got fractions in the middle. So if this was 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, that wouldn't work because I know that 3 and 3/3 is the same as 4. So now I'm going to try 1/4. So this would be 3 and 1/4, 3 and 2/4, 3 and 3/4, 3 and 4/4. So that actually works. So I know that this is 3 and 1/4. Below 3 would be 2 and 3/4. So let's look at our lines. Down here, I see this one has 2 and 3/4 and 3 and 1/4. 2 and 3/4, 3 and 1/4. So I'm thinking it's in one of those. And then I see 2 X's above 3.5. So I need 2 3.5s. Here we go. So that's looking like option D is the correct answer because I have 2 and 3/4, 3 and 1/4. And then I have 3 and 1/2, 3 and 1/2, 3 and 3/4, a 4. So that's all following the same pattern as that line plot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here for line plots, and then we'll talk about scatter plots in the second part of the video.